perform a two sample t-test on the two samples which are given to us, x1 and x2, as you can see, with each sample size being 8, and we are going to verify with a significance level of 0.05 that there is a significant difference in between the means of the sample 1 and sample 2 or not, population means of sample 1 and sample 2 or not. So in order to verify that, we can do the pooled t-test or Welch t-test depending on the condition whether the sample variances are homogeneous or not. So in order to verify whether the sample variances are homogeneous or not, first we need to do the f-test. So let us assume that the population for samples for x1 and x2 being normal. So the sample size x1, let us save the sample size x1 as matrix form of uh, row 1. So this sample size, so as you can see in the environment, one a matrix has been formed with uh, 8 columns, and this is actually an array with 8 columns, and sample size 2 has been formed with x2. Now we are going to perform f test. So in order to perform f test, what we need is f observed. So f observed, that is equal to, this is the test statistic, that is equal to what, variance uh, of sample 1 of sample x1 divided by variance of x2. So this is the sample variances ratio we take for f test. So let us do this. So we got the f observed value 0.6453. This is less than 1. So we're likely to change this. We want the f observed value to be greater than 1. So let's do it by x2 by x1. So now f observed be 1.5494. You can see in the global environment here. Now f observed we have, so we can perform f test to verify whether there is homogeneity of variances or whether there is homoscedasticity. So let me write here homoscedasticity test is f test that we are performing here. So saying the homoscedasticity, what we need is probability for for f greater than f observed, that we will get by 1 minus p f, and here we will put what we get as f observed 1.5494, or you can directly write is as f observed, and degree of freedom 1 is both the degree of freedom of the samples being 7 7, 8 minus 1, 8 minus 1 will be 7 and 7. This is the format for f test, and as we perform this, we get the f test value as 0.288. So as we know, since the f test value is 0.288, there is we cannot reject the null hypothesis. Therefore what, homoscedasticity is assumed to be correct. So homoscedasticity is assumed assumed to be correct. There is no significant evidence against the homoscedasticity. As we now consider that the homoscedasticity is assumed to be true, so now we are going to perform the pool t-test. So pooled t-test. So in order to perform, the pooled p-o-o-l-e-d pool t-test. So performing pool t-test is very simple. You just have to write t dot test, and then you have to write x1 and second array x2, and then you have to write one statement in order to perform pool t-test, that is variance dot equal is equal to true, right? And then you perform this pooled t-test, and you get pool t-test here, two sample pool t-test. So you can see that data x1 and x2 has been inputted, and we get the p-value as 0.7362. Hence we cannot reject the null hypothesis, and therefore the two sample means are assumed to be same. We have no evidence against the assumption of the two sample means being same, that is population means being same. So here we perform the pool t-test, and in order to perform the Welch t-test, I am also going to show same here. Just to perform the Welch t-test, you just only need to do one thing. You just need to remove this statement, or you can write this as variance dot equal is equal to false. If you write this, it will perform Welch t-test. You see here Welch two sample t-test. So thank you and goodbye.